Stages, a massive clash for both of these sides. I'm your commentator Brandon Galgano, and with me tonight is Matt Sultana. Matt, a big night for both of these sides, a potential berth on the national stage for the first time for both of these teams tonight. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Brendan, for that introduction. But like you said, a big opportunity for tonight for both sides to make the national stage of the FFA Cup. Of course, both of these sides made round 7 last year but fell to defeat Altona Magic. A home defeat to the hands of Northcote City really ended their cup run and an opportunity for them to make the national stage. And for last season, it was heartbreak for Moreland Zebras, who thought that their FFA Cup run was all but sealed against Port Melbourne Sharks, but fell in a 4-3 extra time victory to them. So an opportunity for both sides tonight to avenge their losses of 2018 and get themselves into the national stage. A very interesting point on the benches. We've got a battle of the Joe Marsland medalist winners tonight. Fausto DiMichaelis from Moreland Zebras receiving the medal in the 97-98 final for his efforts against Carlton for South Melbourne. Obviously, Goran Lozanowski the following year picked up the Joe Marsland medal for their winning effort against Sydney United 58. So two clubs and two coaches with plenty of history in the Australian football region. So it's going to be a big clash here.
Yeah, it certainly is, and certainly is plenty of pedigree on the ground tonight as well. We'll go through the lineups in a moment, but we are about to kick off here at Paisley Park. A nice clear night for football here in Melbourne, not too much wind, and it's not too cold considering we are almost getting to the middle of winter now, but we are underway here. It will be Moreland Zebras kicking off from left to right in the light blue strip. From right to left, it's Altona Magic in the black. And well, the NPL 2 side taking on the boys from NPL 1. Of course, Altona Magic did get promoted from the NPL 2 last season, so they are somewhat familiar opponents, but again, a huge chance for both of these sides tonight. We will go through the lineups quickly. In goals for Altona Magic, number 21, Shane Vidakangis. Number 2, Liam Elmazi. Number 5, Troy Rutherin. Number 6, John Stochevsky. Number 8, Robert Stambolziev. Number 11, Hassan Jalor. Number 13, Davor Trifonov. Number 14, David Tredosky. Number 18, Marianos Gasparis. Number 20, Sam Mitchell. And number 33, Andre Bius. And on the bench, number 9, John McShane. Number 25, Jake Teleski. Number 26, William Chanpen. Number 36, John Murray. And number 40, Rory Curran. So a few outs tonight, of course, for Altona Magic, Matt, but still a strong enough side to get the job done, you think, tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Quite a few outs, really, for Altona Magic, given the transfer window and cup-tied players. Kobe Bohemian's cup-tied. He played for Brunswick City earlier in the year. Dane Milahanovic only managed to play a handful of games in the ACT, but one of those games was for Canberra Olympic in the FFA Cup. So he's a new signing for Altona Magic that's cup-tied. And obviously Michael Lee is obviously previously cup-tied to Port Melbourne. To tie into all of that, there's been a lot of injuries and comings and goings here at Paisley Park. So it's a very kind of a bit of a new look Altona Magic lineup here tonight.
Well, of course, the loss of Michael Hemmen, the key star striker that came down from Holland a few weeks ago through injury, certainly is a big hit for this side. But again, there's still plenty of quality on the park. Of course, the Moreland Zebras in goal, number 21, Jack Westerstutzi. Number 2, Sean Timmins. Number 3, Nick Simioi. Number 4, Tremaine Sadler. Number 6, Luke Aaron Devitt. Number 9, Nicholas Naigoran. Number 10, Thomas Barafush. Number 11, Jacob Williams. Number 12, Gay. Number 16, David Cardamone. And number 17, Cameron Watson. As the ball comes over the top here out on the right-hand side for Zebras. Just holding it up here on that right-hand side. Now potential opportunity to cross, but blocked initially. I think that they might have thought that ball had gone out, but in the meantime, it is Magic who come forward here. Simioi just coming across and putting some pressure on. That'll go out for a throw. Of course, on the bench, number 1, Yusuf Khalid. Number 8, Liam Cannell. Number 14, Lucien Ibanda. Number 18, Salvatore Accardo. And number 19, Stefan Cardamone. So, again, we talk about the quality on the park for Altona Magic. There's plenty in there for the Moreland Zebras, of course. They were on a strong recruiting drive the last few years, the likes of Cameron Watson with A-League experience. He's wearing the captain's armband tonight. Certainly, again, enough to cause an upset tonight, you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Moreland Zebras have a lot of players with NPL 1 experience, so they are a very solid squad. They are missing Arnold Zwev, their mid-season signing from the Bentley Greens. He's cup-tied, and also Jacob Fullock, who came across from the Preston Lions. Unfortunately, he also featured in an FFA Cup qualifying game for them, so he will miss out. But really, for Moreland Zebras, it's a pretty strong lineup, probably one of their best lineups they could put out in this situation. So it's going to be a big clash here.
The ball comes out to this left-hand side here towards Stambolziev, just held up now, and Moreland Zebras want to get themselves on the ball. Of course, being the side from the lower league coming in here, you'll certainly want to be taking this game early. Now, there has been a bit of a clash here between Nick Simioi and Roberto Stambolziev. And he's just come through here, maybe with a late elbow through, and Simio's certainly not happy about it. In the end, it looks like it is going to be a free kick. And interesting, the referee did bring that back. I know with a head injury you have to stop it, but they were away there with a good forward pass. And again, it will be something which the Moreland Zebras want to use to add a little bit of pace in behind. And certainly something with an experienced defensive line in Altona Magic, maybe they can cause some problems.
Yeah, definitely. I think Moreland Zebras' ability to win or lose this game is probably going to hinge on how much damage Nicholas Nagorian can do up front. Given his size, Moreland Zebras have a small chance there, but given his size and pace that he possesses, he's quite something to handle in and around the box. So if he can get into this game and cause trouble, just as much as Brendan Barnes did last week for the Dandenong Thunder, Moreland Zebras are probably going to be in here with a chance.
Well, he's been around a long time, Nicholas Nagorian now. Of course, had his fair share of injury problems, but on his day, certainly can be one of the more dangerous players in either of the NPL leagues. Because now that ball comes out to this left-hand side here. And maybe a chance for Magic just to get a foot on the ball and slow the tempo early in this game. All played forwards here into midfield. Good turn there from Altona Magic, and now coming into midfield. Good little exchange there, but given a high forwards. Williams gets it high in the air. Underneath it was that hands in the back. Referee says no. Now another chance here. Nagorian turns, gets it out to Cardamone, who's offside. So that will be a throw. You're going to see Luke Aaron Devitt. He's getting into some advanced areas here, sort of playing off Nicholas Nagorian in that attacking midfield role. Does look like defensively they are looking to drop back quite compact, but when they're getting it towards Nagorian, he's certainly looking to get it towards his feet facing forwards. Yeah, definitely. Looks like Moreland Zebras are playing with the 3-5-2, and Luke Devitt is just sitting just behind Nagorian and kind of in between the lines there. And it's quite interesting that Jacob Williams is also sitting in at centre-back here tonight. Obviously a player that's probably so used to playing as a central midfielder, filling in the gaps at centre-back. But early signs so far, looks like Moreland Zebras are getting quite a lot of success getting those players in the front three, in between those lines and into space. Well, now inside here, it's Gay on the turn. Gets it back in towards Sadler, another experienced player who returned from a little bit of time interstate, of course. Won a championship with Northcote City a few seasons ago. Now the ball comes forward here, and Magic look to come forward in this left-hand side. Good challenge there, though, from Williams, and in the end it is going to be a throw. And taken quickly there by Mitchinson, who is out on this left-hand side tonight. And now it's Almazi coming forwards from centre-back, just looks for options in front of him. It's up with a good forward pass and a decent little exchange there, but that time again, Guy, who's really been covering a lot of ground in midfield already, just intercepting, and now Watson on the ball. Just drops it off to Sadler again, who finds Watson, who's really, as we've seen so far, dropping in almost like a centre-back to get himself on the ball and keep the ball moving. Now played high and wide, but He's well kept in the end. Forward pass intercepted though. And now it's good forward pass there from Rutherford, trying to find the run of Yellow, but wasn't quite able to find it. Goes out for a throw.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up that point about Cameron Watson. Looks like he's trying to drop in and come on, almost be that third centre-back, pushing their fullbacks nice and high and then getting their midfielders beyond the shoulders of the Altona Magic players. And early signs, looks like Altona Magic are finding a little bit of difficulty trying to deal with that. And like you said, Guy, he's able to cover quite a lot of space for a midfielder here, as it looks like Altona Magic are breaking away here.
Good ball into the box, but that time just couldn't quite find the run of Yellow, who certainly is trying to get himself onto those balls in behind. It is interesting, as you can see, tactically I think the setup here most definitely is to be compact defensively, but when they're getting the ball, as you can see, Guy and Cameron Watson both sort of rotate and get themselves and drop in just in front of the back four. And you can see plenty of midfield rotation at the moment, which is a little bit of a struggle for Magic to deal with so far. Now Guy out wide to Cardamone, who holds it up and looks to play forwards, but again it's intercepted, so out for a throw. And now a chance potentially for Zebras to get this ball forward to Nygoran, who holds it up. Then the ball plays back into Guy, who turns inside. Watson has Simioy in a high position, but it was a risky pass and intercepted. Now potentially a chance to come forward here, but Watson wins it back well. That time off Lewis, and switch of play there in towards midfield in Aaron Devitt, and he gets it down there. Now all the way back to Timmins rather, who gets on the ball, and again plenty of experience there between Timmins and Sadler and Jacob Williams as well with Cameron Watson. So Sean Timmins had a bit of time at Hume City as well. Certainly played his part in the top flight here in Victoria. Very patient on the moment in their build-up. Just happy to bide some time and look for that opportunity to play forwards. Now Watson across here again. Sadler stepping into midfield. Looks up with the switch of play. Just kept in the end there by Barafush, who under some pressure keeps it well. Aaron Devitt centres inside. Now Watson. He's got Cardamone in a wide area. Goes towards him. Good pass as well. Just cut out there in the end, but enough to get it out for a throw.
And if it's one thing that if you're Moreland Zebras looking at the draw, given that it is an away game for them, given it is at Paisley Park, they must have been thinking it's probably not a bad draw, given how big this pitch is and given the way that the Moreland Zebras like to play. It's probably a bit of a bonus for them to be able to play on such a pitch that's just so wide, and it's able to then open up those spaces even more for them. So I think this away fixture probably isn't going to hurt Moreland Zebras as much as many people might think it will, just given for the way that they like to play.
Well, absolutely. You can see on a big field tonight, plenty of space to move the ball through midfield. Now that's a good turn in from Guy into the box, just didn't quite have the support around him. And now Lewis gets it out wide here, and Mitchinson will come forward on this left-hand side for Altona Magic. Looks up there, plays it forwards. Yellow wasn't able to get there, and Williams just makes up the ground, goes back to Westerstute now, who's got some time. Just props on it and gets it across to Sadler. Again, Westerstute, you can just see here they're looking to slow the tempo, and it's maybe a little bit of a different approach. Most lower league sides, when they come up, or sides playing against a team in a higher division, not saying that Moreland Zebras are lower league by any stretch because they are an NPL2 outfit, but they do look to sometimes try and attack the game and really create some problems early on. But at the moment it is quite slow and just composed on the ball, lulling the tempo and just making sure that Magic don't really get into their stride.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, given that you'd probably expect a team that's playing its team at a higher division to probably come out and set quite a frantic pace early on in the contest and try to pinch a goal. But I guess it speaks to the confidence that Moreland Zebras have. They're confident against Altona Magic, and they probably feel that they don't want to get into a battle of transition against them, given the quality of players that Altona Magic possess in their front line. So it's quite an astute approach from Moreland Zebras early in this contest, as Nicholas Neagoran gets a foul there.
Well, a free kick given. Again, slow composed build-up. Of course, the Moreland Zebras had a disappointing result in the Moreland Derby last week against my old boys, Moreland City. Of course, a 3-0 loss there at CB Smith Reserve. And well, the context of the NPL2 West table, quite profound. We were speaking about it before, obviously, off air, but both of the Moreland sides had difficult starts to the season, but both of them have picked up of late. Of course, Moreland Zebras went 9 games unbeaten at 1 point earlier in the season. Moreland City have picked themselves up, but again, now the chance from Simioy, shot blocked and cleared away. Just wonder how much the impetus of this fixture took on maybe the selection of that game on Friday night. Of course, there were players rested around the sides in the NPL Victoria over the last few weeks with these cup games in mind. Such a big opportunity for every side really outside of the A-League in this country to try and get themselves into the national rounds. And as we said earlier, for one of these sides tonight, it will be their first time into the round of 32. As the ball's played out on the left and Cardamone just holds it up. Now Aaron Devitt again just comes inside and now wide again. Timmins cutting in, finds Nygoran using his body well, gets it out wide in the end, and now a chance potentially for Aaron Devitt to back out wide. Cross whipped into the back post. Guy with a bit of space here. Couldn't quite get under control. Simio's there though. He whips it into the middle. Ball cleared away. Watson out there. Just holds it up and in the end goes back to Williams. Now that ball over the top, very direct, finds Cardamone with a good pass. His cutback is not quite found Nygoran initially, but he got there the second time, the number 9, and now it's Cardamone again whipping it into the middle, but cleared away a third time there. Magic just struggling to contain here. Cardamone now in the corner, looking to win it back and ends up giving away a free kick, but a really good sustained period of advanced possession there for the Moreland Zebras, and in the end just unlucky not to get a shot on goal. Yeah, definitely. You just saw the desperation in and around the box there from the Altona Magic to try and get numbers around the ball and stop that shot. If you just see, I think Altona Magic are a little bit under the pump right now. Moreland Zebras have started this game quite well and quite controlled, and they are creating the better of the chances, and they've really got Altona Magic a little bit shaken up here because it's quite a bit of a surprise for most people to see Moreland Zebras be able to keep the ball so easily against Altona Magic. Some good advanced movement there as well. And Nygoran, you can just see already the power that he possesses with his hold-up play, and he really does take 2 or 3 defenders out every single time he gets the ball in those areas around the box. That time there just caused enough havoc to create a half opportunity, but wasn't quite able to be taken. Now it's Altona Magic on the ball here. Ball just resets out towards the right back position, and Yellow on it. Brought down, no foul given. And now the ball deflects out for a throw. The Moreland Zebras will happily take their time on this. Of course, playing in their non-traditional blue alternate strip tonight. Of course, so well known in their black and white. Of course, with loose affiliation with the old Brunswick Juventus. Of course, that affiliation is shared by around 8 to 9 clubs, I think, in that north and western area of Melbourne with the likes of Brunswicks, and I think there's a Brunswick Zebras that have a few trophies from New Brunswick Juventus. There's obviously Moreland Zebras. There's a few others in there. Yeah, and I think interesting, if people haven't seen it already, go check out the Italian club demerger chart. It is quite a sight to see, and like you said, Moreland Zebras kind of have an affiliation with the old Brunswick Juventus, who obviously won the 1985 NSL Championship, who obviously went on later to merge with Bulleen Lions and Boxalinta to form Boxalinta Kings, who later then relocated to Whittlesea to form Whittlesea Zebras. Sorry to interrupt you. It's Nygoran with a chance! Oh, and he's put it just wide of the top corner. Nick Nygoran. Well, what an opportunity that was, and I'm sorry, I think I was caught in that little history lesson there as well, but in the meantime, it was a fantastic bit of build-up there from Guy, and Nygoran really unlucky with the inside of the boot not to put that on target. And well, the Moreland Zebra is encouraging again there. Yeah, Guy with a nice little cutback there, and Nicholas Nygoran with the outside of his right foot. To be honest, I thought that hit the top corner of that net, and I thought it was 1-0 here, but it was just wide there. And again, Moreland Zebra is quite threatening early on in this contest, and they've really surprised many people, I think, thus far. Well, you've got to be impressed with the input of Guy so far in this midfield. He's really been box to box at the moment. He's dropping in to get the ball when Cam Watson steps out, and he's also driving forwards, and that combination play there with Nygoran was fantastic. And again there, Nygoran just unable to get the finish on target, but still showing some danger. And again, the flick on there towards Aaron Devitt, and Magic just get themselves on the ball and now come forwards out wide here, and not much movement ahead of the ball. There's an offside that will be raised if that does get through to Yellow, but it won't. Out for a throw. Stambolziev, who's gone out to that right-hand side now. Rutherford. Now it's Gasparis, turns inside, Rutherford under pressure. Does get it to Gasparis in the end. Of course, one of the more experienced campaigners on the park tonight, Marinos Gasparis. Rutherford clips it over the top. Gasparis again, under pressure. Gets it down well. Turning and ends up winning a throw. And well, maybe that's just the wake-up call Altona Magic needed.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up Marinos Gasparis. Obviously, played for quite a few clubs here in Victoria and at the top flight for so long, but an interesting point, he hasn't played a lot of football this year for the Altona Magic, mainly featuring off the bench for them. So I'm not sure how fitness is going to go for him. We know he's got the quality, but the question is, does he have the fitness to see out potentially 120 minutes? And I guess when you look at that Altona Magic bench, you have to admit it is quite light on given all the injuries and comings and goings and they've had in the previous few weeks as Moreland Zebras break away here on this left-hand side.
Well, good play there as well. An opportunity to break forward there from Cardamone, but ended up being challenged well, and now it's Altona Magic on the ball. Well, going back to Marinos Gasparis, of course, I don't think fitness has ever been a big strength of his, but certainly such a technical player, so creative in the final third, really deadly if you give him an opportunity to dictate the tempo of a game. But as you said, with the added idea of extra time that could be coming into these types of games and penalties as well. You talk about being light on the bench. It is really important to make sure players do have at least 90 minutes in them if they're going to start a game like tonight. But now it's Naigoran who gets it to the line and cut it back well. But in the end, I think the line did beat him in the end, and it is going to be a throw.
And I have to admit, looking at these two lineups, and if you look at the two benches, you'd probably think that extra time would probably favour Moreland Zebras, given the depth and quality they have on their bench. Obviously, Yusuf Khaled obviously was the hero last year for Northcote City, a young kid coming on in those FFA Cup games and doing a lot of damage for them. So a lot of quality there for Moreland Zebras on the bench. Whereas if you look at Altona Magic, they're a bit light on. I think if you count John McShay, is probably really the only out-and-out senior player that they've got on that list. So you would imagine that extra time might just favour Moreland Zebras in this contest.
Well, of course, John McShane, such a prolific goal scorer in their State League 1 season and in NPL 2 as well, was hampered by injuries for the most part of this season. He did make a slight comeback against the Dandenong Thunder on the weekend, but again, such an important player if they can get him fit, and especially now with the injury to Herman, who was such an important player for them in the first half of this season, does factor John McShane's input back into this Altona Magic side. Now it's Chancellor Watson.
Yeah, and you'd imagine with John McShay coming back now, probably for that second half of the campaign, the Altona Magic would be very happy to see that. But it was quite interesting because we're calling his NPL 1 debut on the weekend, which is pretty crazy when you're talking about John McShay and the quality that he brings to this Altona Magic lineup and what he's brought over the last couple of seasons for them. But just to finish off my previous history lesson there, Brendan, it's Moreland Zebras. They went from Bellini to Kings to Whittlesea Zebras and then obviously relocated to Moreland to form the Moreland Zebras. So like I said, if anyone out there has seen that Italian club merger/demerger chart, I encourage them to look at it. It is quite interesting.
Simioi, great ball into the box there from the header, and again, Naigoran attacking the ball, but wasn't quite able to get there. And well, yet again, Moreland Zebra is getting into a dangerous position on that right-hand side. Well, it was an unconventional cross with the header, but in the end it certainly made enough ground into the box, and well, Naigoran is certainly throwing his body at those half chances in the box, and that time they're not far away as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Altona Magic, they're playing with fire. If this continues, you can definitely see them conceding a goal here at home, which would not be the ideal start for them. But really, it's been all one-way traffic in this opening contest, and Moreland Zebra is just so composed on the ball and just creating chance after chance.
Well, now it's Timmins on it here. He'll reset this play across to Sadler, and Watson again here dropping right in as a third centre-back, and you can just see fullbacks being pushed really high up the ground here, looking to overload in those wide areas as Williams comes forward here now and looks for the direct route towards Naigoran or Barafrush. In the end it's headed away, and Simioi happy to see that out for a throw. As now you can just take a bit of a breath here, and Simioi will look forwards again. Throw in taken quickly, Barafrush under pressure. Now that should be his ball, it is. It's going to be a corner. And now again, another chance here for the Moreland Zebras to throw some weight into the box and get the likes of Nick Naigoran and Guy in the middle. Certainly got enough aerial presence about them to create some havoc of these set pieces.
Yeah, and if you look at that Moreland Zebras team, you've got Guy, you've got Tyrone Sadler, you've got the likes of obviously Jacob Williams in there, all aerial threats from set pieces. So this is something that Altona Magic are going to have to switch on for, because there's quite a few threats in that Moreland Zebras lineup.
So the corner kick here to be taken. Whipped in quickly there by Barafrush. It's a good ball as well. The ball drops into the middle of the box, cleared away. Now it's Watson here again. Finds Barafrush, who's got a Bit of an opportunity to cross this in again, but cleared away, only as far as Watson a second time. So Watson opens up this time and just loops it into the area. Forcing Igorin, he didn't expect it to in the end, and in the end, Vidakangas just got himself onto the ball. Oh, Nick Igorin, I think he expected that the central defender was going to win that header away. He just sort of fell onto his thigh, and unfortunately for him, wasn't able to get it under control. But a good little sider again there from Moreland Zebras. Is that surely a high foot? Not given. Simioi happy to let that go out for a throw.
Yeah, it's Moreland Zebras. In regards to Altona Magic, it's very strange seeing them unable to really control possession in this game. I just think when they win the ball, they're just rushing things and they're trying to create things too easily. As Gorin's in on goal here.
Good chance here into the box. Gorin brought down, and referee hasn't given it. So, well, another good opportunity there for the Moreland Zebras, and Nicholas Gorin throwing his weight around again in the box, and well, that time there. Half shout for a penalty, not heeded to by the referee, but the Moreland Zebras certainly on top here at the moment. It's Guy coming forwards. Now a chance potentially to cross. Timmins on the ball. Goes back out wide, and opportunity to cross potentially. Coming back into Watson. Altona Magic really pegged deep on their area at the moment. Simioi goes back into Watson. Now Jacob Williams stepping inside, looking to potentially deliver this into the area. He does so. Gorin gets a head onto it. Simioi will be the fall, the ball in the box. Under some pressure there. Centres it. Was brought down in the meantime. Not given. Comes out to Guy. Could be a shooting channel here for him, but in the end leaning back, and the ball goes well over the crossbar. And the Moreland Zebras still really dominating at the moment, and a good little half chance there for Guy, not given. But you can just see those overloads out wide, and they're really creating in those areas just around the box, and that time there again, very unlucky not to find a shot on target.
Yeah, Moreland Zebras definitely threatening in this contest. I have to say, it's a little bit of deja vu, because it was obviously the game on the weekend between Altona Magic and Dandenong Thunder. It was Altona Magic with all the play and all the build-up play and all the possession, and then Brendan Barnes just struck with his first two chances of the game to put them 2-0 up in that contest. So it's very interesting. We're seeing almost roles reversed. Moreland Zebras absolutely dominating this contest thus far, but you'd have to imagine if they don't take their chances and half a chance comes to a player like Hassan Yalla up front, you could imagine that Moreland Zebras might find themselves 1-0 down. But thus far in this contest, it's really been all Zebras.
Cardamone did well initially to beat his man, fighting in that corner for possession of the ball, ends up being given away. Now it's a chance here for Magic to come forwards, and Yalla on the ball. He's got Stambolziev in front of him, who makes a bit of a wide run now, and he's got Yalla making an inside run. He's got a few options in the middle. Still out wide is Stambolziev, ends up losing his footing, and now a chance for all the Zebras to clear this ball away. Good purchase on that as well. Goes all the way to Cardamone, who flicks it down towards Gorin, but again intercepted, and now it's an opportunity for Altona Magic to step forwards into their half with the ball. A good wide pass as well to find Mitchinson now. So good opportunity here. Mitchinson, wide position. Centers back inside there to Stocheski. Centering ball, deflects towards the edge of the box, but no one there on it. Now a chance for Zebras to counter-attack quickly if they want to move this ball forwards. Aaron Devitt out wide. Now it's Barafush. He's got Gorin in front of him making a wide run. Gets to it. Almazi close behind him. Still Gorin here, just holds it up in the corner. He's got Guy coming for support now. Does find him, under pressure there from the Altona Magic defender, but the ball is just a little bit too much on it and goes out for a throw. But yet again, dangerous counter-attack there from Zebras, just lacking the final ball.
Yeah, and Guy almost seems like he's everywhere in this game, whipping that ball, and ultimately in the end there was too much purchase on it, so it evaded everyone. But Guy really has been the key player thus far for Moreland Zebras, covering so much ground. I have to say, it almost reminds me of Yaya Toure back in the day for Manchester City, who was just so good at covering the distances and finding the spaces. And Guy with that tall stature that he has and that athletic physique, is just really covering a lot of distance and causing a lot of issues for Altona Magic earlier in this contest.
So the throwing to be taken here quickly again. Cardamone under pressure. Ends up winning a throw. So Moreland Zebras still keeping the sustained period of advanced possession here. Now potentially a chance to look for an option in the area. Throwing quickly again. And Timmins coming forward. Cardamone, who's certainly battled out there so far tonight, comes out to Timmins again. Centers. Now a chance to cross potentially. Backed into a corner. Now coming out to Watson, edge of the box, under some pressure there from Yalla. Cardamone, Timmins, Cardamone. Good football there from the Moreland Zebras, and it's going to be a throw again as the rain just starts to come down here at Paisley Park, and the supporters out on our side retreat underneath the little semi-stands that have been put up out on this right-hand side. But good advanced play there from the Moreland Zebras.
Yeah, very good. It's very interesting you mentioned the rain, Brendan. It seems like it's really starting to come down now here. As like you said, the supporters on our side here are starting to make their way across to the far side behind the clubhouse. But I wonder how much that's going to play a factor in this contest. Paisley Park is held up quite well this season despite what everyone has said about it. It usually holds up quite well in the rain, so I don't think it should play too much into this contest, but rain nonetheless.
Again, the ball given away there by Magic, and now Simioi coming forwards here, looks up. High switch of play, putting his opposite fullback under some pressure there. Does come out towards Cardamone, who just uses his body to try and push it back towards midfield. Now it's Timmins on the ball. Nygoran coming forwards. Touch was very loose there. Well kept alive though in the end. Watson. He looks up, good ball over the top. Barafush is in a dangerous area here, gets it down to Barafush. Good opportunity, cuts back onto his right, just shut down there, turns back again. And well, in the end, I think it's been given as a goal kick potentially, but well, really good switch of play there and good inside run as well from Barafush, and just couldn't quite find the chance to shoot.
Yeah, this is the dream start really for Fausto Di Michaelis' side. They've been excellent, all but a goal thus far for them really. They've totally controlled this contest and really pinned Altona Magic back into their defensive third. So a great start here by Fausto Di Michaelis' men, but all they're lacking is just a goal. But you imagine if this keeps up the way it's going, that goal is coming very soon.
You've got to be disappointed with the way Altona Magic are moving the ball as well. A lot of giveaways, especially when trying to cross over from their midfield third and just not really finding anyone in their advanced areas. Just a few lapses in possession, and well, at the moment it just looked like the Moreland Zebras just wanted that little bit more in midfield. Certainly some concerning signs here for Goran Lozanovsky and his men as now the ball comes out, and Cam Watson, we spoke about him earlier in the game. He's been absolutely excellent so far in that midfield role, along with guys we've previously mentioned, really getting on it, dictating the tempo in that midfield.
Yeah, definitely. And as we approach the final 15 minutes of this half, it's crazy to say that it's really been all one-way traffic. Moreland Zebras, it's been total domination. And I have to admit, Altona Magic have been poor. They're really struggling to keep the ball and keep the ball under pressure. You see it again right there. It's and they've kept it well, but it's a turnover yet again by the Altona Magic. They're just really struggling to switch that ball and get it out the other way in this contest. But some results around the grounds, Brandon. Bulleen Lions lead at halftime 2-0 against the St Albans Saints. So thus far, it looks like Bulleen are heading to the round of 32 for the first time in their history.
Another big club we talk about is it does look like there's a potential injury out there as well. This is not what the Altona Magic need. We've already spoken about the amount of players out at the moment. It looks like it might be Roberto Stambolziev potentially, if I'm looking correctly. Can't see his number just from here. But this is exactly the type of situation that Goran Lozanovsky dreaded, of course, in the midweek cup game tonight, the hectic league schedule as well, battling for the top six, and now potential injury here as well. And it's not Stambolziev, he's actually come across to this side. I can't see in this distance, but if your eye's better than mine, Matt.
Not too sure exactly who is down there on that far side, but look, injuries have really plagued the Altona Magic in these last month or so. They've just had so many injuries and suspensions and players coming and going, and it's really affected them. If you just look at their lineup tonight, it is a very different Altona Magic lineup, and like I said earlier in the broadcast, they are quite light on the bench, so it's looked like he is down and getting treatment. Yeah,
certainly is, and we'll get an update for you when he comes back across, and they'll be hoping this isn't match ending. It's not looking convincing at the moment.
Looks like it might have been David Trejanowski that was down there getting the treatment as he gingerly looks to regain himself to come back on this contest, but looks like he might be going through a little bit of an assessment there on that far side.
Yeah, certainly looks in a bit of pain there, but again, it's going to be looks like Altona Magic might give this ball back to the Moreland Zebras potentially. So they do. So a bit of sportsmanship there as Well, I'd say out there that the substitution is probably going to be required, although they are signalling, I think here, that he can carry on potentially. He has been waved back onto the ground, so at the moment they are back to 11 as he gingerly gets back into the action as the ball drops inside here. Rutherford towards Yellow on the ball. He's got a few options in front of him. And well, one of them is the man that was just off, but it is going to be a throw, and it's going to go Altona Magic's way. So certainly an early tester there of that so-called injury. But it is going to be the first real bit of action we've seen at this end of the ground for a good 35 minutes or so. So we do tick towards the half-time break. At the moment, the Moreland Zebras will be disappointed they aren't in front. Of course, no real clear-cut chances created other than, I'd say, Nikolai Goran's half chance at the box in that first 25 minutes. And they will be disappointed at that, I'd say, Matt, considering the amount of possession they've had in advanced areas tonight.
Yeah, and I think Altona Magic would be equally disappointed in the lack of chances they've had. I mean, they have not really created one chance in this contest, so very concerning signs if you're Goran Lozanowski. This quite poor start, which is quite a contrast to the game from the weekend, in which they started extremely well, created a lot of chances, but were unfortunately conceding 2 goals on the counter. But complete opposite start to the game here, as Sam Mitchison is put under a bit of pressure as the ball goes out for throw-in.
Well, Barra Farouche has also been a danger tonight, and Mitchison, who is well known as one of the better fullbacks in the NPL, certainly been tested a number of times by himself and Nick Simioy as well.
Yeah, and Sam Mitchison's really struggled to get forward in
So again, a good opportunity here for the Moreland Zebras now. And you think a late goal here before half-time would be absolutely fantastic for them, as well, Nick Goran has stayed down after that, and a player with his injury history, it's not the best sign. He does get to his feet gingerly, gets himself into the box, and well, he really is a player of what might have been, with, as I said, the sheer graft of injuries he's had. He's missed a fair bit of football over the last few years. Has shown plenty of potential in the top flight, but now it's Cam Watson here. Ball whipped into the middle, a little bit shallow on its delivery. Comes out to the edge of the area, and a strike that time from David Cardamone, but nowhere near the target. And in the end, it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, David Cardamone lined that one up beautifully, but ultimately it was too wide. And it's an interesting point you touched on about Nicholas Goran. Almost missed really all of 2018 through injury. I know he's had a lot of hip problems in the past. I don't think that ball just went out the box there, but nonetheless, yeah, he's had a lot of injuries in his career. I remember when he was at Richmond Eagles, obviously in the NPL, I believe in 2016, he was such a pivotal player for them that season, but then had a great year the following year at Moreland Zebras, but like I said, last year missed most of the season through injury, but it's good to see him back playing football once again, and he has been quite lively in this contest early on.
Yellow on the ball here, under some pressure. Tried to weave himself out of danger. Yellow does well though, and now it's Rutherford on the ball. Back in towards Stojevski, and now across here to El Mazi. So an opportunity now for Altona Magic to come forwards with the ball. Given away initially, does almost fall fortunately, and then a late challenge there in midfield, and that's going to be a free kick certainly given, and potentially a card as well. A little bit of afters there from the Moreland Zebras players. But
Yeah,
Is that man again?
Yeah, it looks like it's David Trzajanowski really just flying in there. But I have to say, well handled there by the referee to kind of get in there nice and early quite quickly and ensure that we didn't end up with a bit of handbags in the end. So well dealt with there by the referee, just talking to in the end. But a bit of a heavy challenge there from David Trzajanowski.
Taken quickly here. Wester Stuti goes back into Sadler here. Looks forwards on the ball. Right to Timmins, goes back to Sadler now, who just turns on it and looks to come forward in possession.
I've got to say, Brandon, I think Altona Magic got to put a lot more pressure on these centre-backs. They're kind of just sitting off, and you saw there was a bad pass there, and nobody stepped up. They were kind of just ball-watching, and they kind of just dawdled up halfway up the field. Altona Magic have really got to step up the intensity in this contest. They're allowing Moreland Zebras to dictate the tempo far too easily, and given that they are the NPL1 side, they've got to do a lot better here.
Well, they certainly are setting up to try and keep compact behind the ball. Probably doesn't prompt enough imagination, you'd think, here from a side that is supposedly in the high division now. There was a bit of a fend-off there from Timmins, and the referee has seen that. So the free kick has been given. It just looks like a little bit of spite coming into this contest now. Timmins goes across and just shakes the hand of his opposite number. But in the end, the foul has been given. So one thing you will say, Altona Magic have done well to somewhat curb the dominance that Moreland Zebras had in that midfield battle, and now somewhat getting themselves back into this contest in terms of the possession of the ball. But again, at the moment, you just feel that they have to be doing a little bit more to try and get themselves ahead in this contest. The high ball over the top again. Sadler underneath it. Timmins comes across, and in the end, it is going to be a throw for Altona Magic. So this really would be the perfect time to get a sucker punch here for them. Taking quickly into the box, Gasparis flicks it down, intercepted there by Sadler, and it's cleared away for a throw. So we just enter the final few minutes now of this first half, and Gasparis gets it out wide, Yellow holds it up, and now out all the way to this right-hand side. Delivery into the box towards Gasparis, but out for a corner. First Altona Magic have had in this game. And now, potentially an opportunity to throw some men forward of their own and, as we said, grab a real late sucker punch in this first half.
Yeah, given there's only about 4 minutes left in this contest, it would be a great time to pinch a goal just before half-time. Got to watch out for Liam Almazi on the back post. He makes those late runs going towards the back post and often finds himself on the ball. I know in last weekend's game he had a lot of chances to score offset pieces, so looks like they've matched him up with big Nicholas Neogoran. So ball's whipped in here.
Good ball in as well, cleared away. And there is a foul there given against Cam Watson, who just threw himself in that and was maybe collected after the play. So it is going to be a goal kick as the rain does start pelting down again here at Paisley Park.
And I have to admit, the way Liam Almazi was able to shrug off Nicholas Neogoran on that corner so easily is a little bit concerning. They've got to do better to attain him on set pieces going forward in this contest. He just is not able. He should not be able to make such easy runs towards the front post like he did just there. But that's something probably Moreland Zebras are going to have to address at half-time.
Oh, well, look at the strength there shown by Cardamone, just throwing his man off the ball. In the end, the deflected cross comes away, and there was another player down here for Magic. Yeah, it looks like Liam Almazi, the man we're just talking about now. It was a little bit innocuous how he went down with the way he's just cleared the ball. Now this is concerning because there was no challenge on him when he's gone down.
Yeah, it looks like Liam Almazi is in quite a bit of pain. He was kind of waving his arm there to try and get some immediate treatment there. I'm not too sure what happened, but he did go down quite harshly, and it does look like he's in some discomfort.
Well, there are players saying that he needs to be substituted.
Yeah. And
they're, I think, also calling potentially for a stretcher as well. So this certainly is not what they were looking for.
Yeah, it does look very concerning.
There's actually two players down at the moment. There's another Altona Magic player down in the far corner as well.
They're the walking wounded right now, the Altona Magic, really. Looks like they're going to be making a substitution right now for Liam Almazi. But like you noted, Brendan, there is another player on the far side that's also down injured, but concerning signs here for Liam Almazi.
There is a change being made in the meantime, so a central defender coming off, and coming on is going to be George Marigny. So the youngster, looks like he'll be getting himself up. Now, in the meantime, Elmazi has gotten to his feet. So maybe they might put a stop on this just to see if he can potentially continue. In the meantime, the other player is back on the ground as well. Elmazi is very gingerly walking off into the corner.
Yeah, I'm not too
Actually,
sure.
It looks like both players are actually walking off into the corner. So at the moment, Altona Magic have 9 players on the field. So this really is concerning.
Yeah, and given they're not making they've gone straight onto the field there. I'm not too sure if anyone's actually waved those 2 players on. They kind of just ran straight on there. That's quite interesting to see right there.
Well,
but
the ball in the box there, falls down. Aaron Devitt gets onto it, keeps it alive. Cardamone tried to cross, deflected. Cleared away there by Gasparis. Now Sadler. First time ball back into the middle. Barafrush could potentially be there. As well, Vidakangas was off his line. Cardamone shot deflected, falls to the back post. Guy might get there. Turns, couldn't quite get himself a shooting channel. Cries for the line, but not given. High into the area. Vidakangas is going to have to be strong, and he was.
Yeah,
rating his box well, Vidakangas.
Yeah, all 6'7" of Vidakangas there did well to deal with those 2 crosses. He's been a real good player this season for the Altona Magic, quite solid in between the sticks. Obviously, has had to step up a little bit due to the injury of Daniel Collison, who has had a knee injury. So Shane Vidakangas has done a really good job for Altona Magic, not only tonight but throughout this season.
Well, an experienced player in the FFA Cup, going back to his time in Gold Coast. Of course, played for, I believe, was it Palm Beach against South Melbourne a few years ago, or was against South Springvale even, I think, when they ended that heroic run back in 2014. But he's had his time on the national stage, and that's how he actually ended up in Victoria. As now the ball comes out wide here again, but Timmins not able to keep it, and now Magic looking forwards here on the ball, and maybe a late charge here. That's a poor delivery. Williams gets underneath it, clears it away. Guy down to Watson, turns forwards there. Timmins. He looks up towards Nygorin again, cleared away. Now Magic will just look to get this ball forwards again. High and long ball over the top. Stambolziev racing onto it, but he's not going to get there. That's going to be a throw, and yet again, very direct tonight from the Altona Magic. For me, a little bit disappointing. Not really much inventiveness in how they're trying to move the ball forward. They are trying to break quickly, but I haven't really seen anything be creative note, as we've said a few times so far. The Moreland Zebras have certainly looked more comfortable on the ball, especially when playing out of the back. It's quite a strange approach from Altona Magic. Given that Moreland Zebras play NPL2 football, you'd imagine they're probably more used to teams playing very, very direct against them. So probably their backline's probably used to kind of that type of style. So it's a strange approach from Altona Magic to take. You'd probably expect them to play a little bit more of a proactive style, which is not what you see very often in NPL2. You see a lot more teams playing a lot more direct, a lot more vertically. So yeah, it's quite a strange approach thus far from Altona Magic to take that route to victory, but thus far it hasn't really working for them, and Moreland Zebras, dare I say, have looked comfortable. Good hold-up play there from Yellow, and he tried to skip inside Barafrush, but he was very convincing in his challenge there, so it's going to be another throw here for Altona Magic. Mitchinson takes quickly, gets Yellow onto the ball early, but he wasn't able to hold it up, and Aaron Devitt that time as well caught in possession. Oh, one there though by Sadler. He's been fantastic at the back. Ball falls here to Nygor and Sadler. Bit of a chance to break here forwards. He's got Barafrush on his right. Cuts back inside onto his left-hand side to Sadler. Whips the ball over the top towards Barafrush, but it was cleared away. Stambolzia first to it there for the Magic. Comes away, but, well, that's going to be the half-time whistle here. And it's certainly been an intense battle so far, and you can just see the Altona Magic, a few walking wounded there at the half-time whistle. But at the moment, it is 0-0. Certainly lots to think about, but you have to say, Matt, it is the NPL2 side who deserve to be on top at the moment.
Yeah, Moreland Zebras really unlucky not to be leading in this contest, but geez, Altona Magic, you've got to be slightly concerned. As that halftime whistle went, 3 players just hit the deck straight away. Obviously, they are a little bit battered and bruised at this point in the year, but they're a little bit of the walking wounded, and you'd have to think there's probably a lot to think about for Goran Lozanowski at half-time, but if you're Fausto Demichaelis, you've got to be happy with how his side started this contest, and they're quite unlucky not to be leading in this game, but nonetheless a big second half coming up.
Of course, the added impetus of extra time as well has to be something which has to be considered here. But as we said, the half-time break at the moment, it is still 0-0 here at Paisley Park between the Altona Magic and Moreland Zebras. We'll be back right after this for the second half. Tonight it is Wednesday night Victorian FFA Cup Round 7 football here, and it is currently locked at 0-0 between the Altona Magic of MPL 1 and the Moreland Zebras of MPL 2 West. And well, Brandon Galgano here, joined by Matt Sultana. Matt, an interesting first half, one which we probably didn't predict so far, but Moreland Zebras is certainly the dominant side. Still 0-0 on the score sheet though, and the Altona Magic, despite not being at their or anywhere near their best, are certainly still in this contest. But again, certainly some things to think about at half-time for both coaches.
Yeah, definitely. Moreland Zebras have been very pleased with their first half. They were dominated from start to finish, really, and ultimately were unable to get themselves on the score sheet. But nonetheless, it is 0-0. Altona Magic had a lot to solve at half-time. We'll see how they go. One thing I am expecting from Altona Magic in this second half is just to lift the intensity a little bit in this contest. It was a bit subdued in that first half, and I thought they let Moreland Zebras control that game way too easily. So I expect the heaters to be cranked up a little bit here in this second half, and hopefully maybe even a goal.
Well, unfortunately, there are no heaters for us up on this grandstand, or not grandstand, makeshift stand for the cameras and commentators who are lucky enough to be out here at Paisley Park. But we will push on, and hopefully, as you said, the game itself heats up now. There is a half-time change. It is John McShane who's coming on, so that was going to be the next interesting point. And it is David Trajanovski coming off, who, of course, did cop a little bit of a knock late. Now, Lirim Almazi is still on the ground, who also went down with an injury. But John McShane, a welcomed addition to the second half, and that was one thing we did mention at half-time. There was a lack of attacking intent from Altona Magic, and while he certainly is a man with goals in him.
And I think that just shows the intention there from Altona Magic to get this done within 45 minutes. John McShane hasn't played a lot of football in 2019. He suffered a bit of an injury in pre-season that's kept him all but out of football thus far, albeit a 15-minute cameo against Dandenong Thunder on the weekend. So I think that's a sign of intent from Altona Magic to get out there and get the job done nice and early, because you'd probably imagine heading into extra time.
Well, good chance here. Gasparis into the area here. Maurice Gasparis, but he almost just scuffed the kick there. Didn't get any pace on it at all. And well, already a bit of intent as we just spoke about.
Yeah, definitely a definite lift in intensity here from Altona Magic. Just to the back to the point that I was saying, look, you'd probably think heading into extra time in this contest, John McShane wouldn't have too much left in the tank given the lack of football he's played in 2019. So a real sign of intent from Goran Lozanowski to get the job done early here at Paisley Park.
Given away there by Gasparis in midfield, but Watson that time not able to get in the ball. And the one thing that will be interesting here is, will the Moreland Zebras be able to maintain that intensity on the ball and the way they moved it forwards quite effectively through midfield? They were really dominant, especially as we said, that midfield three with Watson and Guy really anchoring in there, and Aaron Devitt just in front were quite effective in controlling the game so far. So we'll see how Lozanowski has instructed his men to keep a little bit tighter on those. And one thing, as you said, we did mention in the first half, was just the time they were allowed to build on it from the back and come into midfield. It does certainly look like here that Magic have started off with a bit more intensity and a bit more attacking intent here, and it is a free kick, so chance here to whip this ball into the area. Numbers forward in the box, but the delivery shallow, poor in the end, and cleared away by Guy Gillen, who was dangerous enough with his size and presence in that first half, getting it down, cleared away. And then the second header there from Simioi goes out, and it will be a throw in here for Altona Magic.
Yeah, definitely more intensity here from Altona Magic. Just not allowing Moreland Zebras that time that they did in the first half to just control the game so easily. So it's going to be interesting to see how Moreland Zebras cope now, given that Altona Magic are probably just going to step up that intensity and press them a little bit more in this contest. You see just there, Troy Ruffton, that reaction to try and win that ball straight away. That's a difference from the first half. And thus far, it looks like Moreland Zebras are a little bit under the pump.
Well, the ball cleared away and out for a throw again. So it is going to be a chance here for the Altona Magic to just have this sustained period of possession. We didn't see this in the first half from them. And now it comes forward again, cleared away though. Now Rutherford gets it down. And played forwards here to Almazi, who gets it back inside here to his centre back, and the ball played over the top there. Stambolziev trying to get himself onto it, but that's a second match ball that's been put on the roof there by the Moreland Zebras defenders. So the fourth official is going to give one back across the ground here. But certainly a better start here from the Magic, who I'm sure were made aware of their first half performance by Goran Lozanowski in that break. Of course, a great come-from-behind victory against the Dandenong Thunder last week. And there certainly is a lot of belief in the squad after that result. But again, it's going to be a game where they're going to want to take this second half as quickly as possible. The thought of extra time, especially with a hectic schedule coming up, isn't ideal for either of these sides. Sadler looks forwards and finds Timmins now, who cuts inside and looks to drive there. Under some pressure initially from Rutherford, and they do maintain to keep possession though. And Timmins, he was held back there by the defender, not given. Guy on the ball, looks forwards, Cardamone. Cuts it inside towards Niagara, holds it up. Now Aaron Devitt there, cuts onto his right foot, delivers into the area, but too close to Vitakangas. And in the end there, the goalkeeper will just get himself onto this and throws out quickly out to his right back.
And it's interesting you bring up that 3-2 victory over the Dandenong Thunder. I mean, you know yourself, those type of games, they take a lot out of you quite emotionally, you know, the adrenaline in the game. And I tell you what, Altona Magic, they really threw everything at that game to try and win and to try and get the 3 points, which they did in the end. But in the process, they did lose Daniel Kaczynski, who has been very good for them. Obviously, he's absent from this contest, went down with a hamstring injury. They took him out probably for precaution with this game in mind, but in the process, they lost him in the end. So you'd have to wonder how much that game has taken out of this Altona Magic team, because they definitely pushed hard in that game to try and get the victory.
I'll certainly be disappointed, as we said, with that first half tonight, but considering the amount of players unavailable, maybe isn't the worst thing now. They can sort of ease into this second half without having expended too much energy, as we said, in that first half of following last weekend's heroic comeback in the end against the Dandenong Thunder. As now it's a chance on the ball here for Yellow, who looks inside, but that's just been their downfall so far. Altona Magic really struggled with their quality on the ball in the final third. And that time there again, just a misplaced pass out for a goal kick.
And it's very interesting. You see straight away there, John McShay just cutting off that pass from the goalkeeper to the centre-back, forcing Moreland Zebras to go long in the first half. That was something they also allowed Moreland Zebras too easily just to play it from the back from goal kicks, and there was really no pressure. So that looks like there's been a slight change there from Goran Lozanowski.
The ball flicked on there. Now Trifonov with the ball forwards. Flicked on there by Stambolziev towards McShane, but again, just cleared away there by Rutherford. Now over the top, Westerstudi in the end got himself out to it.
And let's not forget, Moreland Zebras are missing Fraser Chalmers, their first choice goalkeeper. I'm not too sure if he's cup-tied or he's injured, but I think James West Astuti has done quite well in this contest in goals for the Moreland Zebras.
Well, Nigoran here on the edge of the box, cuts inside. Well defended there in the end, and it's going to be given as a corner though. So John Stochevsky using all of his experience there to try and contain Nigoran, but it is going to be a corner here. And a chance again now for Zebras to throw some numbers forward. As you said, it's been an impressive performance so far from Faster DMX men. Now a chance here for Cameron Watson to deliver this into the area. So a number of players forward in the box. Watson high into the middle, but Vitakangas was strong off his line. In the end, claims it a second time as well, using all of his massive frame there, Vitakangas, and then looks to go quickly forwards there. And Stambolziev did well to get that under control. And now on the turn here, it's a chance for Magic to come forward here. Stambolziev looks up, goes out wide here to Trifonov, who centres again. Stambolziev gets it down well, holds it up, ends up doing almost a half split there as he slipped over on the ball. And now Niagoran will surge forward, but wasn't able to actually keep the ball close to his feet, and in the end it's out for a Moreland Zebras throw. But you can just see there, Roberto Stambolziev, another one who didn't really get himself that involved in the first half, considering how dangerous he can be on his day. Of course, another player of A-League experience, Robert Stambolziev.
Yeah, previously played for Sydney FC and also had quite a career across Southeast Asia, so he's another player with a lot of experience. But like you mentioned, really struggled in the first half to get himself into that contest, as did Hassan Yallo, who's been very, very good for Altona Magic since moving across from NPL to New South Wales. So Altona Magic's front third have got to start getting into the game a little bit more if they want to threaten into this contest. And as this game goes on, you'd probably imagine that John McShay is going to find his way into the game slowly, and it's going to be a matter of how much damage he's going to inflict in this contest.
McShane
just
there.
As I say that bit of commentator's curse there.
Being able to get himself on the ball so far. It can be difficult for a number 9 to come into a game like this. Ball's just being fired pretty much at his head and chest and hasn't really been able to actually get it under control and lock the ball in. And the high long throw forward, Naigoran did really well there to angle that down to his midfielder in Aaron Devitt, and then the ball switched up there by Watson to find Simioy. Under pressure there from Yaloa, but again given away, so now a chance here for Gasparis to get on the ball and goes back inside. So the long ball over the top though, not finding anyone. Cleared away, high up and under. Stambolziev gets underneath it, now Rutherford on it. Looks forward, Stambolziev chests it down well to Gasparis. Now Stambolziev again, starting to get himself quite involved in this on the ball in advanced areas. Gasparis.
Looks like Troy Ruffton is moving quite gingerly out there. He kind of just kept himself out of the play there. I'm not too sure if it's got to do with that last period of possession, but he seems to be walking around quite gingerly.
Might have just gotten a little bit of a stomp there. He is slowly getting himself fit again as McShane got a flick on. Wasn't quite able to get his man onto it though. Falls inside. Rutherford on the ball, turning. Does well to keep it in the end. Clicked forward again there that time, but given away. Sadler on the turn now, Guy, and
this is the pressure that we didn't see in the first half from Altona Magic. They really pressed the Moreland Zebras there, and we got to see Moreland Zebras really struggle to keep possession. I think that's what they're going to have to do more in this second half if they're going to want to win this game. I mean, really in the first half, it was just way too casual from Altona Magic.
Well, Stambolziev looks up and tried to clip that into the box, but it was really poor in the end with its delivery. And now Cameron Watson, who again had a massive impact on that first half, the ex-Adelaide United man, and he's fouled. Now you think that should be a yellow card for an intentional stoppage of play, but it's not going to be given. So Williams is going to get himself onto this, and again plays quickly out to Sadler. And now it's Timmins on the ball, holds it up. Now Sadler again, coming forward here. Timmins, bit of space in front of him. Now advancing himself into a dangerous area, finds Naigoran, holds it up well. Does well, does Nick Naigoran, just to keep the ball. And Aaron Devitt that time slipping over in return. Did he foul his man? No, says the referee. So Aaron Devitt will continue to play. Watson forwards to Naigoran, holds it up, but he was offside. Well, certainly has been a more aggressive.
Have to say, Brendan Galgano, I'm not too sure about that offside decision. Brad, Nicholas Nairgoran looked like he was well and truly onside. But I have to say, Nicholas Nairgoran, what a striker to hold up the ball with his back to goal. I mean, it's something we see very rare in Australian football these days. He kind of reminds me of Mark Viduka in that type of style, of his ability just to hold up the ball so comfortably with his back to goal. You'd imagine if he can stay himself fit that he'd be MPL 1 bound heading into 2020.
Well, Fausto Demix certainly shares your opinion with that refereeing decision. I was hearing a quote saying just to go home there to the linesman, but in the end the game does continue. And yes, going back with Nicholas Naigoran, actually spent a bit of time with him at South Melbourne. We won an under-21s championship back in 2011, and again was always then such a prospect. He went to England for a few years, but then plagued with injuries, as we said, throughout his career. Again, just the type of player what could have been, really. Caulfield Grammar boy as well. Spent a few years there, of course, in the APS system as well. So, player who, if he can keep himself fit, he's certainly a dangerous attacking player at any level, really, in Victorian football. But at the moment, just hasn't really been able to get himself as close to goal as we saw in the first half a few times with that half chance he had, which really, in hindsight, you feel had to have been taken. Now that Magic have somewhat woken up here in the second half and playing a little bit more advance in the ball. That ball's cleared away though, and now Yaloa now again. You can just hear Goran Lozanovsky just instructing his team to drive forward in possession, and they do here towards the area. Ball delivered in towards the middle, but McShane not able to attack it, and Wester Studi was there able to claim, throws out quickly to Cardamone. He looks up and wasn't able to beat his man there in Trifonov, but it is going to be a throw. So Timmins comes across to take quickly. Watson, Timmins again, bounces Watson, looks up. Goes to his centre-back in Jacob Williams now, who steps into midfield, and Guy stepping forward on the ball.
And one thing Moreland Zebras have done a little bit better in this, as this game's gone on, is they're moving the ball a lot quicker now.
Good ball in the box, Goran, good chance, just couldn't quite get himself a shot on target, but it is going to be a corner, so it was a deflection there. And Nick Goran, well, that's the danger he does possess when you allow him to turn, and that time there, well defended, but as you said, Matt, he's certainly really causing some problems with his strength and movement.
Yeah, Guy found himself in between the lines there again and was able to play that ball straight into Nicholas Goran's feet, who was able to turn his man. Unfortunately, his shot wasn't enough to find the back of the net, but like I said, Moreland Zebras definitely moving the ball a lot quicker now. Probably that's a reaction to Altona Magic's pressure that they are putting on them, but it's been quite an open contest, and both sides have had some chances early here in the second half, but another corner here for Moreland Zebras.
Well, an opportunity here for Cameron Watson now. So the corner to be taken, it's whipped high into the middle. And well, Sadler tried to get onto that in the end, but it's going to be a goal kick. So Shane Vidakangas is going to go across and take this quickly. As you said, you can just see the intent from Altona Magic to get this ball moving quickly. Certainly a lot more so than in the first half. And Almazi now looking up, looking forwards. Clips it, but doesn't find the run of Lewis there and intercepted. Now a chance here for Cardamone, flicks it forward. Goran turns well again, under pressure there from Rutherford, but in the end Zebras keep the ball well, just missed the pass towards Watson. Holds it up though and spreads the play, finds Cardamone. Centers in there, Aaron Devitt, Cardamone again. Ball played back to Watson now, under pressure. Timmins keeps the ball well. Clipped forwards there again towards Goran, who holds it up and cuts onto his right now. Goran clips into the middle. Guy wasn't quite able to get there. Simioi there at the fall of the ball. Cuts onto his left-hand side to Simioi, but not able to get the shot on target that time. But again, the Moreland Zebras lifting to the challenge there. Very much higher intensity in this second half, but still creating. Good chance there.
Yeah, and that whole passage of play just started from an unnecessary ball over the top from Liam Almazi. Shane Vidakangas was quick to get the restart going, but then that ball over the top was just not good enough and really just a little bit silly, to be honest. And Moreland Zebras were able to regain possession, as they have yet again, from another unnecessary ball over the top. Look, Altona Magic have got to keep the ball better, otherwise if they keep allowing Moreland Zebras the amount of chances that they are allowing them, you'd have to imagine that one of them is going to find the back of the net soon enough, and that could be all she wrote here at Paisley Park. So Altona Magic, they might need to be forced to have a look at their bench to make a change, because it just seems like it's not working right now.
Well, taken quickly there, the throw, flicked out inside Stambolziev. Certainly trying to get himself a lot more involved than he was in that first half and get himself a little bit closer to McShane. That time there wasn't able to find him though, and you can just see the frustration starting to come out, and Goran did so well there to protect the ball with his body. And well, he's gotten across there to Rutherford and just had a few words, because I think Rutherford's gotten stuck into him a few times now in the second half. But you just saw the use of his frame there, so effective in getting himself in between the ball and the opposing player and winning the free kick. There's now Watson, good forward pass again there from the central midfielder. Cardamone looks to deliver, takes a deflection there off Rutherford and easily claimed there by Vidakangas. And now Altona Magic can come forward again.
And given that Nicholas Goran was a good step and a half away from that ball than Troy Ruffton was, the fact that he was able to get his body in front and protect that ball and managed to bring in the foul like he did just speaks to the quality that he has. He's really been good, but Troy Ruffton's probably got to get himself a little bit more into this contest as Goran breaks away here.
Great turn again there from Goran into the box, but that time they're not able to find Barafarouche, and again it's going to be a throw. You see the biggest impressive point, I think, from the Moreland Zebras so far, especially in the second half now, the intensity has lifted, has been their ability to play forwards to feet quickly. Cam Watson especially, Guy as well. The chance they've created has just been a little bit ballsy in how they're looking to play forwards and create those chances, and especially with the likes of Goran's hold-up play, just try and getting it forward to him as early as possible is important. Now Cardamone, Barafarouche under pressure, free kick given. And a bit of a shove after as well. So this is a position of some danger, and now there is a little bit of afters going on in there too, and they're going to want to make sure that nothing silly comes of this, because there is still plenty of football to be played in this cup tie. But a free kick right on the edge of the box here, and this is the range that the likes of Cam Watson will really be looking dangerous from.
Yeah, a little bit of handbags there after that instance. Probably been coming given the lift in intensity in this contest, but like you said, good range here for Cameron Watson. We know that he brings quality over the set piece delivery, but like you've said, I have to agree, Moreland Zebras, as Altona Magic have put a little bit more pressure on them, they've just dealt with it quite well, and they've been able to play quick forward passes quite easily as the Altona Magic player goes into the book. I believe that's number 33 that receives the yellow card.
So Andre Bilius will go into the book. I'm not sure if he gave one to Nick Simioi as well. But there is a set-piece opportunity here. So Cameron Watson, well, you got to say, maybe a little bit closer than perfect range, but certainly in a good position to strike. He's got Bara Farouche standing over this as well.
And he's going to have to beat all 6'7" of Chain Vidakangas to score this goal if he's going to hit it from this set piece. But nonetheless, it is a great area to be taking a free kick from if you're Cameron Watson.
Incredible looking at Shane Vidakangas standing on that post. He literally could just raise his hand and touch the crossbar. And I can tell you now, being a goalkeeper and knowing a lot of goalkeepers, there's a lot of jealous keepers there of his frame. But this is a really good position here. And Cameron Watson and Tommy Barrett standing over it. It is going to be Watson. It's low across the goalkeeper, but he does get across and cover his side. And it is going to be a corner kick here. Didn't quite have the power to really trouble Vidakangas, but just made sure to get that away. And now it is going to be a corner kick.
Smart there from Cameron Watson. He set it up like he was just about to lob it over the wall, but was trying to hook it back and get it across Shane Vidakangas. But probably, like you said, not enough power. But in the end, it's a corner here for Moreland Zebras.
So Watson here again to stand over this set piece. Delivers high into the box. The header just away there from the defenders. Struck again there and well held there in the end by Vidakangas. It was Simioi who had the strike from all of 35 yards. Now the ball comes out again and a chance to break here for the Altona Magic. It's Mitchinson coming forward, holds it up. He's got a man in front of him and he was given away in the end though. And now a chance for Zebras to attack themselves, but well, the referee said that it was further back, so it's going to be a throw. Now, is he going to turn this over is the question, because usually it is a turnover.
Not too sure what's going on here. The linesman did flag it was a Moreland Zebras throw. Moreland Zebras took it quickly, but it looks like the linesman has overthrown.
So I think what's happened is he's taken it too far forwards, and they've made him retake it. But then there, it looked like he took it from the exact same spot. So in the meantime, that is Naigoran coming forward. Ball just got away from his feet, but he still does keep it somehow. And he's brought down in the end there as well by Stochevsky. So that's going to be a free kick. And in a very dangerous position here as well.
I have to say, Brendan, last time I checked, if you take a throw-in further than forward than what it was, it's a turnover.
It's a turnover, exactly. Well, that was what we were thinking there, but maybe he's gone with the player not hearing the referee's warning first. Sometimes that does rescind the turnover, but again, it is a good opportunity now.
Nonetheless, you have to say the ball probably ended up going where it was going to go anyway, so it's a foul here and a free kick for Moreland Zebras. Cameron Watson with another opportunity to whip this ball in. Well,
this is a more dangerous opportunity to really get someone on the end of this, and as you said, the like of Naigoran and Guy in the box. So we have a chance here for the Zebras. Watson clips it high this time. Good range, good header, but not quite able to get the power required. Vidakangas claiming that easily, and in the end again looking to release quickly over the top. Aaron Devitt under some pressure here with his back to goal, and he's giving it away, and this is a good chance now for the Magic. Cut inside to Stambolsiev, but a good challenge there from Simioi. Did really well to come across and cover that ball into the area. And well, the first real chance we've seen from Altona Magic tonight, and well, it was a great covering challenge, wasn't it? Stambolsiev just wasn't able to get the shot on goal.
Yeah, they broke away quickly, and Hassan Yalla found himself through and cut that ball back, and Robert Stambolsiev's in the end his chance, but Nick Simioi did well to cover the distance and get the tackle in there to force the corner. But threatening signs there from Altona Magic on the counter-attack, and if you're Moreland Zebras, it was hearts in mouths for a few seconds there as they almost thought they were going to take the lead to almost conceding, but Altona Magic have a corner kick here nonetheless.
Well, an opportunity now, and Marinos Kasparis whips the ball in, high delivery, it's a good one as well, cleared away. Still on the ball though, El Mazi goes back outside here, so an opportunity to clip that ball in again. Straight to Timmins though, headed clear, Barafush under some pressure. Wasn't quite able to help it on to Naigoran. In the end, Stochevsky just doing the safe option and clipping it out wide to his fullback. Now a chance to come forward again here for Magic. And Spilias goes all the way back to his centre-back and Stochevsky, and Again, on the ball here at centre-back. Under some pressure now is Trifonov, and in the end given away. Cardamone finds Timmins, he's brought down, and the referee gives a foul.
Got to say, interesting moment in that build-up play. Luke Aaron Devitz has given Troy Ruffton absolutely no space. He is following him everywhere around in this game. And Gaia here on the edge of the box.
Well, just couldn't quite get his footing on the ball, but on that time, gives the ball away. Haven't said that too many times tonight. Chance to play it forwards here towards Yellow, but again goes back to the goalkeeper in Westastudi. Gets it under control, and well, a good pass forwards to find Williams, who somehow free of his man. He looks up and plays a long ball over the top towards Cardamone. Well tracked back there though by Trifonov, and now it's Rutherin on the ball. He looks up, looks long and direct. Stambolsiev, good flick. Now McShane, he was offside. He was offside, says the referee. Now Stambolsiev, I think, might have been collected there in the afters, but just offside John McShane, and those little half chances that he'll be preying himself on tonight as Stambolsiev gingerly gets to his feet.
Yeah, it's situations like these. Altona Magic, really, they're just struggling to keep the ball and keep possession in this contest and really just get in control of the game. They've really, Moreland Zebras have really stepped up the pace here in this second half and lifted their intensity themselves. So big last 35 odd minutes heading into this contest, but a real stalemate thus far.
The ball played over the top here again and headed away there by Mitchinson. Does well to get it under control in the end, and now a chance to clear it away, but it's only going to go as far as a throw in. So we will look around the grounds as well. Of course, we know there have been some updates coming through on your screens tonight. But at the moment, St Albans have pulled themselves back to 2-1, and it was Omaboyi getting the goal in the 82nd minute. A really important moment that was there for them. And now, with 5 minutes left, or just under, they are only down by 2-1. So it could be a late drama-filled night there at the Veneto Club.
Yeah, given those 2 goals came in the first 5 minutes for Bulleen Lions, it's really been a tight contest throughout that game. So will we see a bit of a grandstand finish over there at St Albans? But we'll keep our eyes peeled for any updates from that game. But at this stage, it is still 2-1 to the Bulleen Lions. In this game, it's still 0-0 here, and we're still waiting for that first goal here in the 71st minute.
Well, Cardamone looks up. Timmins out on this left-hand side here, looking to get advanced. Holds it up, clips it into the box, but just no one there again. Cleared away. Watson gets underneath it. That time Stambolsiev wins a second ball, and McShane got it down. Was that a high boot? Referee says yes. Now, the only thing I'm going to say about that is that Jacob Williams did duck his head into that, which is exactly what John McShane is motioning towards the referee about. Maybe was a little bit dangerous with its application, the high boot there, but if a defender's going to duck his head, it does make it difficult for the striker. Now, Guy there, that's a cheeky little nutmeg. Unfortunately, he gives the ball away though, and Yellow could be away if they see him there. McShane just played that pass a little bit too late. Maybe the initial ball should have gone straight through to the marauding winger there. But you can just see John McShane starting to get himself a bit more involved now on the ball. Yeah,
given the lack of football he's played in 2019, as this game goes on, you'd probably imagine that he gets himself more and more into this contest. But Altona Magic, they're kind of catching Moreland Zebras on the break a few times here. I think Moreland Zebras just turning over the ball a little bit too cheaply in dangerous areas. But like you said, John McShane, probably as he gets on in this contest, he's going to find himself more and more in it.
Ball over the top there towards McShane. Flicked on, goes away there, and again a chance to potentially come forward. Now it's Cardamone. He looks up towards the run of Naigoran. Almazi comes across. Naigoran does well to keep it alive. Now he'll look to chase that ball down. Almazi goes back to Vidakangas, who clears that ball away. Low, finding Gasparis. Wasn't quite able to get it under control, though, so Watson just flicks it out wide to Varafarush, and he's got Simioi marauding forward on that right-hand side. He cuts in on his left. Varafarush, and he has a strike. It bounced in front of Vidakangas, and it's into the back of the net. A fantastic finish there from Tommy Varafarush, and it is the Moreland Zebras who take the lead here in this FFA Cup Round 7 clash. And while Shane Vidakangas, he just had that late bounce there and unfortunately wasn't able to get a strong hand to keep it out. And the Moreland Zebras, they take the lead.
Yeah, and the screams of Juve come from the far side there at Paisley Park, and Barrafush backed himself on his left foot, and like you said, a bit of a bounce in that muddy area of the box there, and Shane Vidakangas did make the save, but it wasn't enough to keep the ball out, and it trickled into the back of the net. You have to say Moreland Zebras deserved that goal. They have been great throughout this contest, and now Altona Magic have a big mountain to climb here with, what, about 15 odd minutes left in this contest. Moreland Zebras lead the home side 1-0.
Well, there's just too much space there, you think, for Barrafarush to attack in there, though, and he cut in onto his preferred left-hand side, and, well, the strike, as we said, it's difficult to deal with being a goalkeeper, I can tell you that. When that ball bounces in front of you with pace, and you're a goalkeeper yourself as well, Matt, it is difficult to deal with those, especially with the zip on that ball and the wet conditions tonight. And, well, Shane Vidakangas, he will be disappointed overall with the conceding of that goal, but it is the Moreland Zebras who take the lead, and you have to say deservedly. And now will Altona Magic react here? The ball high in the box, cleared away. Cardamone flicks it on now. Rutherford.
And you have to say definitely a deserved lead here for the Moreland Zebras in this contest.
Well, good ball in towards Yellow, but again, Jacob Williams, who, as we mentioned earlier, not his preferred position in at centre-back, but he's been fantastic tonight as well with coming across and covering the pace of Yellow.
And definitely, I think one thing with the goal that the Moreland Zebras just found, and Barrafarush did find himself in a lot of space. The game got very, very stretched, and Altona Magic just didn't track back the runners enough. They kind of had 3-4 players sitting on halfway, not tracking back, and then Barrafarush finds himself in really acres of space and buries it with the left foot. And Shane Vidakangas, like you said, probably will be disappointed in the end with that effort, but you have to say it is a difficult one to save given the wet surface here at Paisley Park. But big mountain to climb for Altona Magic. Moreland Zebras, really all they've got to do is hang on now for the next 15 minutes, and they'll find themselves on the national stage for the first time in their history.
A massive moment would be for them, but still plenty of football to be played as Wester Studi gets off his line well and clears that out for a throw. And, well, what do Altona Magic have in the tank? Of course, a side that have been so successful in the last few seasons, winning State League 1 Northwest, winning NPL 2 West, and now into the, as we said, into the potential chance of going to the round of 32. But again, so disappointing with tonight if they are to go out.
Well, given that it's 2 years in a row here at Paisley Park that they've lost to a side that you could probably say, I would say, is an inferior team to them, but you know, you look at last season, Altona Magic were flying and Northcote City were rooted towards the bottom of MPL, and Moreland Zebras obviously have been great value for money from MPL 2 West, but you know, no doubting that Altona Magic are really, in the context of things, a better side in terms of their recruitment and their investments that they've made. But
that's a good pass forward. Now Nygoran's onside. The referee's kept his flag down. Nick Nygoran! Oh, he's put it into the side netting. What a chance. I think it was saved in the end there by Vidakangas. But my word, that was a golden opportunity to make it 2-0 for the Moreland Zebras. And Nick Nygoran will be shattered with himself there. He kept himself onside so well. And Aaron Devitt with a really good forward pass again. But that time there, great goalkeeping from Vidakangas.
Yeah, Aaron Devitt with a great ball to Nygoran, who did well to stay onside, and really 2-0 probably would have sealed things here at Paisley Park. But Vidakangas probably redeeming himself there, keeping his side in this contest with a good save. It's a corner nonetheless, but looks like Altona Magic are going to go to the bench here. It looks like it will be number 36 that will be coming on for the Altona Magic.
So
I'm not too sure.
Marinhi, it looks like, will come on, so we'll be waiting for that change to take place after the corner, which is whipped in by Watson. Guy in the end with what was more a clearing header rather than an attacking one. And now Yellow, who hasn't really been able to get himself into this contest so far, gets forward well, cuts inside onto his right now. He's got a few options in front of him, but he's made some really good ground there. And in the end, it falls to Stambols. If he's tackled, Yellow still surging forward, but wasn't quite able to get himself on it. And in the end, it rolls through to Wester Studi, who picks up and now just looking to come forward again. Played out wide here to Simioi. Looks up towards Nygoran, under pressure, headed away. Now played all the way back to Vidakangas, who steps in on the ball and goes high and long forward again. McShane underneath it. Goes through, but not able to find it. Target Gasparis there. He's got Trifonov on his right-hand side. Under some pressure there from Cardamone, who's done an excellent job on that left-hand side tonight. Worked so hard to retain possession and defend on the counter-attack. Guy getting it down. Now it's Watson. Gets it across out there to his right back in Simioi. He just looks for coverage of the ground there, but it's cleared only as far as his opposite defender in Stachevsky. So he steps forward and he delivers high and long in towards McShane. Flicks it down inside, but Sadler was there. Clears away. Again, the ball headed forward. Two Moreland Zebras players going for the same ball, but in the end it comes down again. So Rutherford looks forwards. You can just see Moreland Zebras have dropped quite deep here. Ball cleared across there by Stachevski. Away it goes. Trifonov again. Clips it inside. Given away though that time, and Watson flicks it forwards now. Aaron Devitt looks up. He's got Nyagoran in front of him. Goes towards him. He's one-on-one with Elmazi. Nick Nyagoran in the corner. Holds it up well. Gets his winger in Barafush on it, whose goal at the moment is the one that separates the two sides. Clip twists and turns, and in the end does really well to keep the ball and then finds Simioi. He's brought down there, and that's going to be a free kick. And that's a yellow card shown there as well to Liram Elmazi. So it's going to be a set piece again in a dangerous area. And that time there, great play from the Moreland Zebras to keep the ball and winning a free kick in a good position. Yeah,
great piece of play there from Moreland Zebras to keep the ball there. Looks like Marinos Gasparis has come off for Altona Magic. We did speak about kind of his fitness, given that he's only really played a role off the bench this season a lot of the time for the Altona Magic. You probably imagine that he probably wasn't going to stay out there for any longer than really 75 odd minutes, and he has come off now for the Altona Magic. So another set piece opportunity here for Moreland Zebras.
We think a second goal could potentially wrap this contest up. In the context of the game so far now, Moreland Lions in the meantime have gotten a third in stoppage time from a penalty. So that is a big moment there. It looks like they will be going onto the national stage for their first time in their history, the Moreland Lions. So a massive night there at the Veneto Club as the ball's whipped into the middle there, headed down. Well, interestingly enough, it will be a second MPL2 side joining them in the round of 32 to accompany the Melbourne Knights, as well as the ball comes into the middle here. Guy feigns himself well. Guy into the area here. Can he cut back? Just slipped there and lost his footing momentarily, and it was enough for them to come forward, and that's a bad tackle there from Nyagoran on Elmazi.
Yeah, Guy, all he had to do was pull the trigger there on his left foot, but he kept trying to get it onto his right peg. But opportunity there for Moreland Zebras to really put away this contest now, as Altona Magic really starting to throw numbers forward.
Rutherford looks up, plays it wide here. Trifonov under pressure there from Cardamone, does well, goes back inside to Elmazi. Now the ball's played forward again. Trifonov centering, given away. And now it's a chance here for Watson on the counter-attack. So he looks to hold it up. Rutherford putting some pressure on him. Just cuts back onto his right. There's Watson. Finds Nyagoran. Now Aaron Trevitt. And that ball there goes out for a throw. Well, they've just got to be careful here, the Moreland Zebras. They don't want to be starting to give the ball away too easily and then drop too deeper as a result.
They've got to be a lot cautious, because really Altona Magic are kind of just leaving 4 players now well and truly up front to just try and get anything out of this contest as we kind of enter into the final moments of this game.
Cardamone gets it down. Watson given away. Strong challenge there to win it back though from Cameron Watson. Rutherford that time winning it back, but in the end it's a free kick given. Not happy about it is Troy Rutherford.
Yeah, and to be fair, I thought he did well to win the ball back there, but nonetheless, the referee has given a foul against him as we enter the final 8 minutes of this contest. And maybe it's time for Altona Magic to start rolling the dice and really start to go for it and throw these numbers forward, because they really need a goal to get them back in this contest and stay alive and keep their FFA Cup hopes alive here, as Moreland Zebras are really 8 minutes away from probably the biggest moment in their recent history.
Well, there certainly has been another big moment in recent histories tonight at the Veneto Club. Moreland Lions have secured their spots in the round of 32 with a 3-1 win, so that final whistle has gone out there as the ball drops here well to Alan Trevitt again, but cleared away. And now this is the situation that Magic will be looking to create in. The ball wide from Stambols, yeah, finds Yellow. Under pressure there from Williams, but Yellow cuts in. He's got a few runs being made on the right-hand side, but just gets onto his instep there. And now it's Rutherford. He looks forwards over the top of McShane, but in the end, chested down to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, Hassan Yalla kind of just ran out of ideas there on that right-hand side as Moreland Zebras have the opportunity to break away here 2v2.
Well, ball played forwards here to Nyagoran, who's under pressure again there from Elmazi. And Almazi that time strong enough to win the ball. Naigoran won it back. It's really been a topsy-turvy contest tonight, that one. Naigoran somehow weaves himself into the area. Still going is Nick Naigoran, but in the end he couldn't get the shot on target. Really good play there from the Moreland Zebras big man. And while he weaved inside 4 Altona Magic defenders, but unfortunately for him, wasn't quite able to get the shot on goal.
Yeah, Nicholas Naigoran did so well there to keep the ball and keep it alive and create a half chance out of nothing now as Altona Magic look to surge forward.
Oh, good ball forward there from Rutherford. McShane getting himself underneath it, cleared away again. Drops inside, Stambolzia flicks, good defending there from Sadler. And now Simioi has to be first to it, and he is the former Melbourne City Youth fullback. He's been excellent tonight. Ball over the top towards Dylan Trevitt again, but Aaron Devitt rather. But the ball is collected by the goalkeeper and cleared away again towards Hassan Yallo, but headed off and out for a throw will be an Altona Magic ball.
And you get the sense that Moreland Zebras can taste victory once again. They were at this stage this time last year against the Port Melbourne Sharks where they thought they'd secured a spot in the round of 32, but they really the heart ripped out of them as Moreland Zebras found a late equaliser and then went on to win it in extra time. But you'd imagine now that you would think Moreland Zebras have probably learned their lesson from last season, you'd hope, and can try and hold on to get themselves to the national stage. But Altona Magic, they're really throwing absolutely everything out of here as we've seemed to have lost the footballs and looks like we've retrieved one from the far side, but Altona Magic are really starting to throw everything they've got at it.
Interestingly enough, you only seem to lose the footballs at an away venue when the home side is in front, so it's strange that those balls aren't being returned quickly enough, but the play will restart in the meantime. Thrown in towards Stambolziev, just comes off him there. Marinhi, substitute, cuts back. Now it's Trifonov, delivers into the box, but it's shallow and out for a goal kick. And Goran Ozanovsky certainly not happy with the execution of that delivery there.
Yeah, I thought Trifonov should have tried to whip that in with his left foot. He tried too much to try to get it back on that right foot, and ultimately it's probably the reason why the ball went out. But as you can see, Moreland Zebras in absolutely no rush to get this game restarted as we enter the last 4 minutes of this contest. As Goran Ozanovsky's got his hands up saying how long to the linesman and the referee. But Moreland Zebras will wait as long as they will need to in this game to try and get themselves over the line.
Well, interestingly enough, no substitutes have been made by the Zebras. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Liam Cannell, Lucian Ibanda, Salvatore Stefan Cardamone, all options who could come into the game here. You think maybe Fausto Diamic will use those three as some time wasters in stoppage time. But again, it's so tight at the moment. But as we state, it is the Moreland Zebras who will join, as we said, the Melbourne Knights and tonight the Balleen Lions in the final 32, along with Hume City, of course, who also booked their spot with a penalty shootout win against the Oakley Cannons as well last week. So 2 from MPL 1 at the moment, and potentially 2 from MPL 2, but there's still a bit of time remaining here. Timmins finds Naigoran, gets himself into the box again, holds it up, and in the end wins a throw. So Cardamone to take, happily put it down and wait for Timmins. Now Cardamone's put it down, Timmins has walked away from it, so Cardamone is going to go back and pick the ball up.
Any little bit of time will favour the Moreland Zebras at this point, really, as they try and clinch on to every second they can. As a big throw in the box is coming.
Cardamone long into the area, cleared away, but only out for a corner by Trifonov. So it is now an opportunity here for the Zebras late in this, and I think Cam Watson is just asking his manager if he wants this ball whipped into the box or if they should just hold it up in the corner. I think maybe it's a little bit early to start thinking about time wasting, but...
And it looks like all the substitutions for all the Moreland Zebras have returned to the bench, so you'd imagine they might use a few of them to wind down the clock, but it looks like Altona Magic will make yet another substitution.
Well, there will be a final change here for them as the ball whipped into the middle there. Naigoran! He got himself that bit of space and a slide on goal, but wasn't able to direct it on target. He'll be disappointed with that. Another good chance. And Nick Naigoran, well, all his game has lacked tonight has been a goal, really. He's been so good in his hold-up play. Now that final change is being made, and it's going to be Jake Talevsky to come on, and he's going to replace Andre Bilius. So
hands in heads type of stuff there from the Moreland Zebras. Zikoseo Goran with a chance to really seal his side spot in the round of 32. I have to say, long-time friend of Fausto Di Michaelis and a bit of a mentor, Mickey Peterson here on this far side, has had his hands in his head for, I'd have to say, the last 15 minutes. Obviously, the former Ajax player has been involved with the Moreland Zebras for a couple of seasons now and really been influential in forming how they've gone over the last few years. But he is pacing quite frantically up and down this side here in these final moments.
Ball played over the top, headed away. Was that a foul? Yes, it was on Sadler. And that's going to be a free kick here for the Moreland Zebras. So, again, Jack West Stuti is going to come and take this and again wind some time off the clock. Goran Lozanovsky just having a few words with Fausto Diamix, who of course is an ex-teammate of his. Back in their South Melbourne days, as you mentioned, that's Altona, two very successful footballers in their own right, and they do have a bit of a laugh as well. High ball over the top, headed away. Stambolziev looks to flick. Watson clears. Now the ball played forward again. Watson gets it forwards. Now the ball falls to Elmazi. He finds McShane, flicks it on there for Stambolziev. Again, not able to get the ball under control though. Stambolziev gets it down on the turn. Was he held? No, says the referee. Cardamone looks forward now. The ball cleared away there, and well, Elmazi's gone down again in pain that time. But he gets himself up quickly. Does Liam Elmazi.
Looks like Liam Almazi's probably fighting back a little bit of cramp there in this contest as he kind of clinches onto his hamstring there. But Moreland's Altona Magic really now really pushing and giving it everything they can to try and get a goal. But it just doesn't look like it's going to be their night tonight. The Moreland Zebras have been excellent thus far and really deserving. But you'd probably imagine that Moreland Zebras might be able to hold on to here in this contest. It just hasn't fell Altona Magic's way tonight.
Well, it's going to be a throw again. Just taking their time now to potentially get this ball forward. And Fausto Diamix just tells David Cardamone to pick up the ball and get the game started again. So he takes it quickly into the corner. Well, held up in the end but given away. And now a chance for Altona Magic to surge forward here. A good high long ball there played forwards by Rutherford, headed away. Now Stambolziev underneath it.
We will have 4 added minutes of injury time here, as the fourth official has indicated. So we're going to have 4 extra minutes of injury time here as Liam Almazi regains possession.
Well, Cardamone chasing it down into that corner, and he'll love to try and keep him in here. Goal goes back to Vidakangas, who hasn't really got much in the end. Almost got stuck under his feet, but finds Talevski here, who drives forward through midfield, and he finds Rutherford. There's now the ball played out wide. It is that time now where Altona Magic need to be good on it. That time there, though, it wasn't. And the Moreland Zebras will take their time on this again. Just hear the crowd trying to get their side up for it, and hear the cries of Juve there from the opposition supporters as well. What a massive night this would be. As Elmazi looks up. Is there some late drama to be had here at Paisley Park? Goes through the legs of Guy. McShane gets it out towards Yellow. Keeps it alive just as Yellow under pressure there from 2 Moreland Zebras players. Comes back out now to the edge of the area. Mitchinson, Yellow. He's done well there as Ahmed Yellow. Can he deliver now? Ball whipped in. McShane leaves it. Falls to Stambolziev. Is that a handball? Referee says no. It is a corner kick. And they are surrounding the referee here. Well, the defenders from the Moreland Zebras maybe breathe a huge sigh of relief. A yellow card has been shown there, I think, for the protest. There's 2 now as well. The whole bench there for the Altona Magic is up in arms.
I have to say, Brendan Galgano, I'm very, very surprised to see that that isn't a penalty.
I thought that it was. It looked like it was, and I will want to watch the replays as well to confirm that. But my word, that is a moment of some real contention, and there's unfortunately no VAR here in the NPL Victoria like we've seen around the world.
Yeah, I have to say, it looked like pretty clear contact for a penalty, and that looked like it was actually going into Brendan Galgano. I think that was going to hit the back of the net too, so Altona Magic, man, they must be frustrated with that.
Ball whipped into the area, comes down again. Cleared away for a throw. We are in the final moments here.
About a minute and a half to go in this contest, and I tell you what, Altona Magic, Goran Lozanowski is absolutely fuming. They felt that they deserved the penalty there, but they'll have a throw in here and an opportunity to throw it into the box now.
Well, taken short, cleared away. But now Vidakangas under pressure there from Nygoran. We are in the final moments here. High ball over the top, McShane again underneath, and it falls inside towards Mooney, but cleared away. Rutherford has to be good on it, gives it up. Nygoran, he came from inside his half, so he's not offside, and Nygoran just holds it up, goes back to Watson. Now out wide, Altona Magic just hunting this ball down. Aaron Trevitt there in the corner, but cleared away for a throw. Well, absolutely incredible. And looking at the replays, I think it's pretty conclusive that that ball has struck the hand of Sean Timmins, and the ball is away from his body as well. My word, what a night here late on in this one. There hasn't been much action to call for the majority of this 90 minutes, but it's certainly livened up late here. Is there some late drama though? In the corner. No, there isn't. The Moreland Zebras are going to the round of 32. They have defeated the Altona Magic here away at Paisley Park. And well, what a night of football for them. And for, as we said, one of the incarnations of the previous Brunswick Juventus are returning to the national stage. And well, late controversy, Matt Sultana. They will be absolutely furious with that, the Altona Magic.
Well, Moreland Zebras are going to get their night on the national stage. They've made the round of 32 of the FFA Cup. They've avenged their loss from 2018, and they've found a way to win after that devastating defeat to Port Melbourne last year. Moreland Zebras are heading for the round of 32, back on the national stage as that club once again, and you can just see the emotion from the players and from the coaching staff. What a night for Moreland Zebras. For Altona Magic, it's another year of deep thinking. They've once again fell short at the final hurdle, Altona Magic. It's the tournament that seems like it's just eluding them right now, the FFA Cup. But if you're Moreland Zebras, it's ecstasy and emotion. If you're the Altona Magic, you must be disappointed given they've once again lost at Paisley Park in round 7. But a great night for Moreland Zebras as the chants of Juve has screamed across the pitch.
Well, a massive night, and you can just see, as we said, the ecstasy etched on the faces of the Moreland Zebras players and fans tonight. Well, for the Altona Magic, as we said, they were disappointing tonight, you've got to say. From the start, there was a little bit of a pick-up in that second half, but after going behind to Tommy Barrafarush's strike midway through that second half, there just wasn't enough for me in terms of creating. And again, I don't think I saw a shot on target other than that late strike, which struck the hand. It did strike the hand of Sean Timmins. Now, I guess the only thing you can say from the referee's perspective was it too close for him to get his arm out of the way? The only thing you will say is it is away from his body. But regardless, that will only be a talking point. The main point of conjecture from tonight is the fact that the Moreland Zebras are back to the national stage of this competition for the first time in this period of the FFA Cup, of course, going in past the Doherty Cup days and again past the days of Brunswick Juventus, which is affiliated with this side tonight. Matt Sultana, final thoughts, big result.
Yeah, definitely. If you're Altona Magic, disappointed. They didn't play very well, but full credit to Moreland Zebras. They came here, they played their way, they played their style of football, they backed themselves, they played with confidence, they stepped up to the challenge, they were excellent. They probably deserved to win by a couple more goals in the end. So great night for Fausto Demarcais and his men. Probably for Altona Magic a night they're going to want to forget once again, but great night for Moreland Zebras.
Well, that's it here at Paisley Park. The final score, it is the Moreland Zebras winning by 1-0. They go to the round of 32 tonight, joining the Ballian Lions, the Melbourne Knights and Hume City as the Victorian representatives in the 2019 FFA Cup. From your commentary team, Matt Sultana and myself, Brandon Galgano, it's goodbye for now.
dealt with it quite well, and they've been able to play quick forward passes quite easily.
And Cameron Watson and Tommy Bradford are standing over it. It is going to be Watson. It's low across the goalkeeper, but he does get across and cover his side. And it is going to be a corner kick here. Didn't quite set piece. Delivers high into the box. The header just away there from the defenders. Struck again there and well held there. And Aaron Devitt under some pressure here with his back to goal, and he's giving it away. And this is a good chance now for the Magic. Cut inside to Stambolsiev, but a good challenge there from Simioi. Did really well to come across and cover that ball into the area. So Watson just flicks it out wide to Barafarouche, and he's got Simioi marauding forward on that right-hand side. He cuts in on his left. Barafarouche, and he has a strike. It bounced in front of it, Kangas, and it's into the back of the net. A fantastic finish there from Tommy Barafarouche, and it is the Moreland Zebras who take the lead here in this FFA Cup Round 7 clash.
And their investments that they've made, but
that's a good pass forward. Now Nygoran's onside. The referee's kept his flag down. Nick Nygoran! Oh, he's put it into the side netting. What a chance! I think it was saved in the end there by Vitakanga. Well, to keep the ball and then find Simioi. He's brought down there, and that's going to be a free kick. And that's a yellow card shown. Melbourne Knights as well, as the ball comes into the middle here. Guy feigns himself well. Guy into the area here. Can he cut back? Just slipped there and lost his footing. Strong enough to win the ball. Nygoran won it back. It's really been a topsy-turvy contest tonight, that one. Nygoran somehow weaves himself into the area. Still going is Nick Nygoran, but in the end he couldn't get the shot on time.
We'll make yet another substitution.
Well, there will be a final change here for them as the ball whipped into the middle there. Nygoran! He got himself that bit of space and a side on goal, but there is Ahmed Yellow. Can he deliver now? Ball whipped in. McShane leaves it. Falls to Stambolsiev. Is that a handball? Referee says no. It is a corner kick, and they are surrounding the referee. Angus under pressure there from Nygoran. We are in the final moments here. High ball over the top. McShane again underneath, and it falls inside towards Mooney, but cleared away.